The WNBA's executive boardrooms are currently experiencing an undiluted state of complete corporate fear. Discussions about theoretical salary caps during the polite, highly sanitized offseason are long gone. The most horrifying, mathematically intricate corporate countdown in the history of professional women's sports was just formally started by the league office by slamming their fists down on the boardroom table. Greetings from WNBA Pro again. Here, we do not deal with extremely emotive fan speculation or produce sports network misinformation. We operate solely in the harsh, icy world of corporate leverage, salary cap calculations worth millions of dollars, and brutal boardroom bloodletting. Please lock the doors completely for me. The WNBA has revealed highly confidential logistical documents that will drastically and permanently change the whole Eastern Conference. So please turn off your notifications immediately and give me your full clinical attention today. The league as a whole has been functioning in an utterly naive state of suspended animation for the last few months. The lengthy talks for the Marathon Collective Bargaining Agreement completely diverted everyone. The front staff of the Indiana Fever haughtily believed they would have plenty of time to carefully prepare for their offseason and engage in gradual negotiations with its highly leveraged upcoming free agents. However, that extremely poisonous illusion was been violently destroyed by the WNBA Executive Board. They just launched a huge, well-coordinated logistical bomb on the league's schedule.
As you guys can see here, WNBA Communications. The WNBA Expansion Draft 2026 presented by State Street Investment will be taking place on April the 3rd on ESPN. Oh, let's go. So, the WNBA 14th and 15th franchise.
Listen to the official league announcement's utterly chilling finality. Right now, I require that particular date in order to fully enter your analytical processing. On the professional basketball calendar, April 3rd is more than simply a random date. It is the ultimate corporate deadline for the most catastrophic and unstable event in the sport's contemporary history. The much-awaited, lavishly financed expansion draft has been finalized. Both the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire are busily setting up their multi-million-dollar war rooms. These are not at all like the typical financially constrained WNBA teams. These corporate venture capital syndicates are extremely aggressive and well-armed. They have billionaire ownership groups, no pay limitations at all, and an unwavering mission to carry out a hostile acquisition right now. Like highly skilled corporate vultures, they are actively circling the current 13 teams in an attempt to aggressively steal championship-caliber talent from clubs that are mathematically vulnerable. Furthermore, the Indiana Fever is currently the most mathematically fragile roster in the entire global environment. Let's examine the harsh maths of an expansion draft in a cool, collected manner. Your entire multi-million-dollar corporate infrastructure cannot be mathematically protected. The league's regulations specifically require all current general managers to make a huge, extremely painful sacrifice. It is legally required that you fully disclose extremely valuable and productive assets to the open market. You have to actively present the well-funded expanding syndicates with your own players. As a result, the locker room becomes extremely poisonous and unstable psychologically, and the Indiana Fever front office is currently caught in a complete executive nightmare. They have the world's most popular and lucrative offensive ecology. However, their highly sought-after protection spaces are tightly limited. The billion-dollar CEO, Caitlin Clark, must be fully and utterly protected. They have to defend Aaliyah Boston, the extremely profitable interior anchor. However, the boardroom maths becomes quite bloody after the absolute foundational pillars are secured.
Goes into detail. It says, in preparation for the expansion draft, each of the existing 13 teams will be required to submit the league office by Sunday, March 29th. The roster list that includes every player to whom the team has rights. Players on the team.
I want you to do a careful analysis of the pure executive terror that was caused by that particular deadline. The strict, non-negotiable drop deadline for the protected lists is March 29th. The Indiana general manager has exactly 96 hours to make significant, long-lasting business decisions that will completely determine their championship window. Every player who is currently under contract must be objectively assessed and given a rigid mathematical value. Elite, Highly synergistic perimeter defenders like Lexi Hall or Sophie Cunningham are purposefully exposed if you actively defend a highly inefficient, high-volume isolation scorer like Kelsey Mitchell. You deliberately give up your secondary offensive engine for nothing in exchange if you maintain the crucial perimeter spacing that is strictly necessary to maximize Caitlin Clark's kinetic efficiency. This perfectly captures the essence of a corporate hostage scenario. Additionally, there are no clean exits at all. The aging, extremely ineffective benchwarmers will not be drafted by the expansion syndicates. They are actively using extremely sophisticated advanced analytics to find assets that are extremely undervalued and inefficient. The precise glue players who the Indiana Fever sorely need to carry out their fast-paced transition offense will be brutally targeted. Portland and Toronto will violently steal the Indiana Fever's championship depth overnight if the management team makes even one tiny calculation error or deliberately commits fiduciary treason by shielding an outdated legacy veteran rather than a fast rim runner. The front office must carry out this massive restructuring while totally oblivious to the noise from the mainstream media. The big sports networks are frightened to talk about the expansion draft's actual hard maths. They are deliberately using highly sanitized corporate fluff to divert the attention of the world's customer base. However, the real corporate titans are operating in utterly terrifying silence while the mainstream media actively engages in quite juvenile antics. Let's fully change our analytical attention to the global sports economy's absolute epicenter. Because the giant international corporate syndicates are getting ready to unleash a financial nuclear bomb on the global footwear market while the league struggles with minimum contracts and extremely restrictive roster slots. Nike, the unchallenged monopolistic sports marketing company, is currently carrying out a large, highly classified corporate operation. Regarding Caitlin Clark's trademark sneaker, they have been utterly silent, a corporate quiet never seen before. This degree of complete information blackout is statistically unattainable in today's highly connected attention economy, unless it is being forcefully enforced by the world's most powerful executives.
What other vague way can I get you to say something without spilling the
all I know is when they come out, they are going to be incredible. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Everybody who's been anxiously waiting, anticipating.
Listen to Ryan Rucco's unquestionable corporate anxiety in that particular interaction. I want you to examine his tremendous reluctance with the detached accuracy of a Wall Street auditor. He is an extremely strong and well-connected national television commentator for ESPN. He has exclusive, highly confidential insider knowledge about the largest product launch in Nike history. However, he is utterly scared of disclosing even the smallest fact on a public broadcast. He deliberately stammers, selects his words carefully, and declines to violate the company ban. Why is a big national broadcaster afraid to even talk about a basketball shoe's physical design? Because he is acutely aware that he is talking about more than just an athletic shoe. He is talking about a multi-million-dollar, highly weaponized international marketing tool. Nike is getting ready to launch a big, well-coordinated global corporate stimulus package. They are actively and purposefully starving the customer base in order to increase demand globally. In order to completely circumvent the outdated and severely constrained WNBA compensation system, Caitlin Clark is actively creating a vast, unguardable shadow economy. She is a complete worldwide conglomerate imprisoned within a point guard's body. And this indisputable fact completely paralyses the deeply ingrained, extremely insecure veteran establishment. They are physically unable to match her worth on the international market. They so make a valiant effort to claim credit for the whole financial boom. This leads directly to the most insulting and utterly deluded victory lap in the history of modern sports. Because the legacy veterans are currently carrying out a large, well-coordinated public relations campaign to change history, while Caitlin Clark is actively, alone, saving the whole professional league from mathematical insolvency.
See this landmark deal come together.
I mean, it's really incredible. And when you think about the years, I think we've talked about this a lot. This fighting's been going on for so long. I mean, we talk about 30 years of the WNBA. being the best, women's basketball league in the world. And this whole time we've just been fighting to be paid like it and to be treated like it. And for a lot of the players that played before me, our generation,
Listen to Diana Taurasi's pure, undiluted haughtiness in that particular soundbite. I want you to take a moment to fully comprehend the utter absurdity of that extremely contrived statement. She is vehemently claiming credit for the new collective bargaining deal while sitting in front of a national television audience. The legacy veterans fought for decades to finally secure this monumental financial upgrade, she claims haughtily. It is an indisputable corporate delusion that is mathematically bankrupt. Billionaires do not transfer enormous, previously unheard of generational riches just because you spent 20 years playing in an empty gymnasium. The legacy veterans operated under an antiquated, massively subsidized business model that continuously required enormous bailouts, a fact that has been historically proved. They produced severely diminished business sponsorships and television ratings that were mathematically inconsequential. They only made it through long enough to take full advantage of the enormous economic tidal wave that Caitlin Clark alone created. She is the undeniable force behind the network's decision to renounce their previous commitments. She drastically transformed the merchandise revenue, sold out every arena, and broke every broadcast metric. Her extraordinary gravity is the sole source of funding for the entire financial boom, the new Supermax contracts, and the increasing $7 million pay cap. However, the seasoned establishment has the unwavering courage to gaze into a camera and take credit. Demanding an executive bonus for the CEO's multi-billion-dollar labor is the epitome of a corporate parasite. However, phony, well-rehearsed podcast interviews are a very difficult way to manipulate the free market. Millions of highly involved customers are able to see exactly what is going on. The age of the participation trophy, which was courteous and well-subsidized, is now gone. The expansion draft is coming up soon. The executives are being aggressively suffocated by the Sunday roster protection deadline. Right now, the Indiana Fever front office is negotiating a huge corporate maze worth millions of dollars. They have to brutally sacrifice extremely precious rotating pieces while being entirely encircled by heavily armed expansion syndicates. They have to safeguard their main billion-dollar assets statistically. And before the biggest product launch in Nike history totally destroys the worldwide market, they have to carry out this enormous reorganization. Welcome to the brutally harsh meat grinder that is the new financial reality of the WNBA. I appreciate you being here with me on WNBA Pro. We thoroughly and brutally analyze the indisputable truth of the international sports industry. On this particular channel, we do not engage with cowardly corporate spin or created front office storylines at all. We only deal with the underlying mathematics, extreme brutality, and unwavering truth. Pay close attention if you want the most brutal, critical, and completely honest basketball information available online. To get into the top percentile of knowledgeable operators, make sure you forcefully hit the subscribe button right now. Give this video a huge like to help forcefully drive this crucial corporate exposure straight past the algorithm. In the space provided for comments below, I would like to hear your completely unvarnished, analytical thoughts on this enormous executive nightmare. In the forthcoming expansion draft, who will the Indiana Fever front staff be mathematically obliged to give up? Will they deliberately engage in fiduciary treason and completely abandon a top-tier perimeter defender? And when the formal release of Caitlin Clark's signature sneaker occurs, how explosive will the worldwide market reaction be? Please share your precise, mathematically sound forecast with me. I'll see you at the next high-stakes meltdown in the boardroom. The corporate civil war is officially underway, and the week will be completely left behind. So don't even blink.